Let's take a look at the games that will be released in August 2025. Based on the gameplay in the background, you can see that the first game we'll be talking about is Mafia: The Old Country. It will be released very soon, on August 8th, 2025. Mafia: The Old Country is set in Sicily in the 1900s, in the fictional town of San Celeste, which previously appeared in Mafia 2. The game revolves around the history of the Sicilian Mafia. The narrative revolves around Enzo Favara, who as a child was forced into slave labor in the Sicilian sulfur mines, and later joined the Torizzi crime family. The game certainly has a lot going for it. So let's find out what the gameplay is like. There's not much to say about the gameplay. Mafia: The Old Country is a linear third-person game with a narrative storyline set in a cinematic environment. This brings the game closer to Mafia and Mafia 2, while maintaining its open world. But it's worth mentioning that Mafia: The Old Country is a prequel to the first game and the fourth main installment in the Mafia series. What can I say? We're all really looking forward to the game's release, so we can all play it. Let's talk about the next game. Hello. Today we're going to talk about Echoes of the End, which will be released on August 12th, 2025. Don't forget, Echoes of the End is a cinematic third-person action-adventure game. We can also expect an exciting story where personal dramas intertwine with magic, sword fights, world exploration, and unusual puzzles. Inspired by the nature of Iceland, the game immerses you deeply in an original fantasy world. It sounds very interesting, but how interesting will it be in practice? From the trailer, we can see that the graphics are very impressive, and the game seems incredibly interesting to me. So let's see what the game will be like. In the game, we become Reen, a resident of the Echoes, who possesses powerful but unstable magic. In fact, as in classic games or cartoons, we are super strong but unable to control our powers. We've seen this many times before, so let's see what else is in store for us. To save her brother, she challenges a totalitarian empire. Along the way, she is joined by Abram Finley, a scientist and researcher haunted by the ghosts of his past. Together, we will uncover a conspiracy that could reignite an ancient feud and plunge Ima into chaos. In conclusion, we can say that we will immerse ourselves in a story of trust, self-sacrifice, and greed, in a world on the brink of war. Honestly, I don't want to spend any more time on this game, so let's move on. And here we have a rather unusual project called Sword of the Sea. It's a fairly meditative game, perfect for unwinding after a hard day at school or work, allowing you to slip into a relaxed state and simply unwind. I would also like to note that the game will especially appeal to those who love skateboarding. After all, Sword of the Sea, from the creator of the fantastic worlds of Abzu, The Pathless, and Journey, is an atmospheric journey on a fast-moving airblade, similar to a skateboard or snowboard. You can also fully immerse yourself in the atmosphere of riding around the city on a snowboard or similar transport, because you are making your way on an ancient and powerful airboard that moves like a snowboard, skateboard, and surfboard, 3 in 1. Pick up speed to reach maximum velocity and conquer the crests of giant waves. Combining two different genres, meditation and racing, into one, I think it's incredibly cool, and I'll definitely play this game to take a break from everything and just enjoy the relaxation and peace of mind. The game is incredibly cool, but let's take a look at the other games in this selection. Well, the next incredibly interesting and legendary game that I played when I was very young is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I remember sleepless nights spent at the computer playing the previous games in the series, and I hope this installment of our favorite game won't disappoint us. Let's see what awaits us. all the unique features of the original with lots of improvements and even greater immersion. A remake of the 2004 game Metal Gear Solid 3: Snake Eater. It has the same exciting story and fascinating world, but with completely new graphics and 3D sound that better convey the atmosphere of the jungle. An incredible combination of survival, action, and stealth awaits us. I recognize the good old Metal Gear Solid that we love. Everything we loved so much remains in the remake. The story, characters, voice actors, gameplay, and music are all back, now in a version for modern consoles. This evolutionary leap has breathed new life into every scene and rebuilt every corner of the game world. I can already imagine how much fun I'll have playing it. I don't think it's even worth mentioning how good the graphics will be because it's obvious. Moreover, let's not forget that the game is built on the Unreal Engine 5, thanks to which the game's vast locations have been recreated using cutting-edge technology. Well, we can't wait for its release, so let's see what else awaits us. Now it's time for a game called Lost Soul Aside. There's a lot to say about it, of course. Let's start with the story and what the game will be like. Challenge formidable enemies and giant bosses in this incredibly stylish action RPG, combining different types of weapons and spectacular combo attacks in fierce, dynamic battles. Master different fighting styles, solve puzzles, and develop extraordinary abilities in this heroic adventure. The main thing is to save your sister. We can also expect an optimized game with 4K resolution. Explore colorful worlds while playing with unlimited frame rates. Customize the graphics to your liking and use technologies that increase performance. Ray tracing is also done at a high level. Enjoy incredible graphics with realistic shadows and reflections that take into account the laws of physics. Experience high-quality lighting with advanced ray tracing technologies. Enjoy rich colors, expressive brightness, and deep contrast with incredibly realistic graphics and lots of small details on HDR-enabled gaming monitors. Overall, the game is pretty good, and it's worth playing and waiting for, but it's just not my thing. It's not my genre. Well, we won't stop there, and we'll move on to see what final games I have prepared for you. Well, we're coming to the end. And here we have a game about real ninjas. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. The legendary ninja returns in a new 2D fighting platformer. This game is part of the legendary series from the team behind the famous fighting game Streets of Rage 4, featuring the same recognizable cartoon style. Play as the legendary shinobi named Joe Musashi, a true martial arts master. Your village has been burned down and your kin have been turned to stone. Fight an unprecedented evil force and avenge your clan. Wow, that's awesome. We'll avenge everyone. Ah ha 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 ha. It'll be fun, of course. Let's see what else awaits us. We will learn to be real ninjas, because we have a whole arsenal of weapons and ninja fighting techniques at our disposal. We will show our enemies who the real ninjas are and introduce them to the Oborozuki katana and kunai, the arts of ninpo and ninjutsu. The game is incredibly cool and definitely worth checking out for fans of the genre. In the meantime, let's move on to the finale and take a look at the final game in this series. And the final game we'll be talking about today is, of course, a horror game. How could it be otherwise? Eternal Exile, Beneath the Darkness, even sounds creepy. It's a dark fantasy shooter where the dead know no peace. Travel through nightmarish dimensions where you can only survive with magic and weapons. Every upgrade, spell, and choice leads to salvation or destruction. Uncover the truth, or let it consume you. Now let's take a look at the game's features. Immerse yourself in the gloomy atmosphere of dark fantasy. Explore the ruins of forgotten eras to uncover its ancient secrets. Diverse locations that leave questions unanswered, until you decide to find the answers. You will need every trick in the book to stand against the hordes of the undead. Use and upgrade various types of weapons to help you on your difficult journey. It seems that this game is worthy of closing our list of games coming out in August 2025. Write in the comments which game you liked the most. Good luck to everyone, and see you soon.